Welcome to our in-depth coverage of Wisconsin's transformative election, held on April 1st, 2025. Tonight's report explores historic shifts in voting procedures and judicial appointments shaping our state's future. Wisconsin voters approved a constitutional amendment, Wisconsin Question 1, mandating photo identification at polling stations. This amendment elevates a previously passed law to constitutional status, complicating any future modifications. Supporters argue the measure bolsters election integrity by deterring fraud and ensuring accurate voter identification. Critics contend it may suppress votes among vulnerable communities and complicate access for many citizens. The amendment passed with approximately 63% of the vote amid heated public debate and passionate activism. Record voter turnout marked the election, reflecting high civic engagement across urban and rural counties. In Milwaukee, polling sites experienced severe ballot shortages that briefly threatened the voting process. Election officials rapidly responded by delivering additional ballots to ensure every registered voter was served. Authorities confirmed that all voters present before the 8 p.m. deadline successfully cast their ballots. The statewide election unfolded amid unprecedented logistical challenges and robust community participation. Alongside the amendment, Wisconsin's judicial landscape experienced a pivotal shift in its composition. Judge Susan Crawford won a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court, cementing a closely divided liberal majority. Her victory over conservative candidate Brad Schimel underscored a significant realignment within the electorate. Schimel, who received notable financial backing and political endorsements, saw a stark contrast in voter sentiment. The judicial contest became the most expensive in U.S. history, with expenditures soaring over $100 million. This historic spending underscored the immense political stakes and national attention on the race. In her victory speech, Judge Crawford stressed the critical role of an impartial judiciary in democracy. Crawford expressed gratitude to supporters, promising fair, independent decisions on pressing legal matters. Her win is expected to influence upcoming rulings on abortion, rights, labor laws, and electoral districting. Voters clearly demonstrated a desire for balanced representation and judicial decisions aligned with community values. In addition to the high-profile judicial race, significant developments emerged in education leadership. State Superintendent Jill Underly was re-elected, defeating a GOP-supported challenger in a tight contest. Underly's win, garnering nearly 53% of the vote, signals continued public trust in her leadership. Her re-election promises steady progress in enhancing Wisconsin's education system amid statewide reforms. Throughout the day, scenes of vibrant community interaction highlighted the dynamic electoral process. Citizens from diverse backgrounds converged at polling stations, eager to participate in historic decision-making. Observers noted that grassroots efforts played a crucial role in mobilizing voters across the state. Volunteers and local organizations worked tirelessly to ensure every vote was accurately counted. Despite isolated logistical setbacks, officials maintained transparency and efficiency during the voting process. The election underscored the challenges and opportunities inherent in modern American democracy. Political analysts are now scrutinizing the amendment's potential impact on future elections and voter turnout. Debates continue over whether the voter ID requirement will ultimately secure or restrict electoral participation. In communities across Wisconsin, discussions sparked renewed interest in civic education and voter rights. Advocates for electoral reform are closely monitoring the amendment's implementation in upcoming cycles. Meanwhile, legal experts anticipate court challenges that may test the constitutional validity of the amendment. As litigation unfolds, Wisconsin will likely set precedents, influencing national debates on voter identification. The election results, marked by record participation, signal evolving political attitudes in a polarized era. Wisconsin's political climate remains dynamic as traditional loyalties yield to emerging reformist voices. Local media reported extensive community dialogues, with voters passionately debating election integrity and fairness. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions, reflecting widespread public engagement and spirited political debate. Observers predict that the state's new legal and electoral landscape will affect policy decisions for years. As new leaders assume their roles, Wisconsin prepares for significant shifts in both law and governance.